Yeah, I just want to make this video really quick because I thought about this. One thing that I really, really wish I knew earlier, and I'm going to tell you now that if you're able to swallow this pill, if you're able to accept that this is the way that life is, your life will be so much better. And the best part is I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just going to tell you, and then you're going to have to figure it out on your own. Why should you listen to me? Well, I'm 23 years old. I've been in business for about 3 years now, and it's scaling pretty well. I also am in the best physical condition of my entire life. Very, very happy. And I'm just ultimately really fulfilled. Like, I will say this, I don't think I've ever been more fulfilled in my entire life than right now. And it continues to get better. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Like, the older that I get, you know, when I get in better, even better position, shape, even better in business. And I've done a lot of learning. I've done a lot of studying, and I've gotten to a point now where I have understood there is a big amount of knowledge to be learned way outside of school. And there's a lot of different domains that you need to learn things in. And in your 20s, you need to be spending this time learning as much as you possibly can. But this is the hardest pill that I ever had to swallow. And whoa, check out this bug. That is a fucking massive bug. What the hell even is that? Anyway, wow, that's kind of weird. Anyway, the hardest pill that I've ever had to swallow, and the more that I learn, the more I realize this is bullshit. The whole go to school, go to college, get a mortgage, get a 9-to-5 job, get married, have kids, that is all bullshit. All of that. That is the biggest marketed lie of all fucking time. That's not the answer. If you want to have a fulfilling life, that is not the fucking answer. All right? I'm not going to tell you why. I'm not going to dive into the specifics. I'm not going to give you the whole rundown. There's certain things that you need to really, really learn. I'm going to give you 5 buckets that you can go learn these things from. We have wealth, your mindset, your body, your soul, and your relationships. Those are the 5 buckets that you need to find out. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The more you learn about each one of those buckets, the more you will realize that the traditional life that people have laid out to you is a bunch of bullshit. Everything, down to fucking watching football on Sundays. It's all bullshit. And the more that you learn, the more you'll find out. It's a bunch of shit. It's a bunch of shit. And that is probably one of the hardest pills to swallow. Especially as a young man, because you've been told this your entire life. You're like, this is what you have to do. You have to go to college, and you have to get a good job, and then you have to get married, and you have to have kids, and you have to move into a home and retire when you're 60, 70 years old. That is all a lie. It's all fucking bullshit. With those 5 buckets, there are 3 things that you need to have, 3 characteristics that will help you grow in those areas. And that is power, abundance, and freedom. If you can operate from power, abundance, and freedom, you can explore those 5 buckets: body, mind, soul, relationships, and wealth, and find the thing that's going to bring your life purpose. But what's not going to bring your life purpose is going to college, getting a fucking house, and getting married. That is a bunch of bullshit. Now, I'm not saying any of that stuff is bad. You want to go get married, you want to get a house, you want to go to college, that's cool. But make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Not because you have to go because your parents or your teachers expect you to go to college, but because you genuinely want to go to college and you have a good reason to go. And I'll be honest with you, if you're not going to be a doctor or a lawyer or a mechanical engineer, there's a really good chance that your degree is probably going to be fucking bullshit. If you're in school for business or marketing, get the fuck out of there, bro. Or stick around, take accounting and any finance classes you can take, and then get the fuck out of there. Everything else you can figure out online, and even you can figure out accounting too. But that's just the one class I wish I would have paid attention in. This thing is still sitting here, bro. It looks like it's got a weird little stinger or something. I'm not scared of bugs, but I'm also Fuck that bug. I don't want to get out the car anymore. What if it does sting me? Or whatever. Do not go the traditional route. If everybody else is doing it, there has to be something wrong. You have to find some individuality to yourself. It's your fucking life. You're the main character. It's your movie. You have to walk around and act and operate like it's your fucking movie. Abundance, freedom, and power. That's basically, to sum up the three of those, it's your movie and you do what you want to do. And you don't break character. People will respect you less when you break character. If you say something, fucking own it. Use your balls. Say it with your balls. If you believe in something, own that shit. But you have to understand, you need to find your polarizing views on the world. Polarizing. You need to have views that are so conflicting that people usually will try to debate you on them. And guess what? The more people try to debate you on your views, the more you'll realize that you're getting out of the programming. That's all. Like, you see these guys talk about escape the matrix. You know what the fucking matrix is? The matrix is the belief that you're going to go to college, get a really good job, get married to a woman who loves you just the same as you love her, and then have beautiful kids and be so happy for the rest of your life. And then one day you're going to retire and you're going to have so much money from your 401k and your retirement fund that you're going to be able to go and travel the world. That is a bunch of bullshit. I have witnessed it with my own fucking eyes. I'll tell you this. I know people who are older. I'll give you a personal example. My fucking parents, bro, my parents had me really, really late. They're older. And I will tell you this, they're not that fucking happy. All right? They're just not. Because they thought, all right, well, I'm going to work my ass off and then I'll be happy and I'll be secure. That's not fucking true. That's all bullshit. And when you start to realize the more, every nuanced little thing that you've learned, why do people operate that way? You have to start asking why. This is why I bring up the pill you have to swallow. You need to accept it right now, by the way. You need to accept the fact that that's bullshit. Once you've accepted that, you have to then ask, why is it bullshit? And when you ask why, that's when you can start going and learning niche down things about those 5 things that I told you about, operating from abundance, power, and freedom. If you don't understand abundance, power, and freedom, go look that shit up and figure out how to be abundant, powerful, and free. Because guess what? You don't need excess of stuff to be abundant. You don't need status to be powerful. And you don't need unlimited money for freedom. Okay? You can be abundant, powerful, and free right now. But you have to understand how to do that. And it starts right here. It doesn't start from your pockets. It doesn't start from having the best physique in the world. It starts from your mindset. And when you understand that, you can change your reality. So the point of this video is, and I'm still kind of rambling a bit, so I'm going to get this over with. The traditional route is a fucking lie. Now that you know that, you need to go out and ask why. And then once you ask why, you need to then go back and do your own research and figure out what the right way is for you. I'll give you an example and then I'll wrap up the video. I used to be addicted to scrolling on social media. And I would scroll all fucking day. And I'd send all of my friends memes. And I'd pay so much attention to every little thing that was happening on Instagram and social media. And one day, when I finally started to understand this concept, which, by the way, you need to just look and say, everyone does this thing, why do they do it? Like, you'll see patterns. Collect patterns. When you notice a lot of similar patterns in your life and other people's lives in this kind, why do people act this way? Why do the masses act this way? That's what I did with Instagram. I was like, why is Instagram bad? Well, the more that I learned, the more I realized Instagram gives you dopamine. People are trying to capture your attention because it makes them money or it gives them status, right? So they're going to make the video as interesting as possible to capture your attention. So you get a dopamine spike from watching an Instagram video. Now you keep scrolling, so you keep getting that dopamine spike over and over and over again. What happens when you do too much of something? It starts to lack its meaning and its fulfillment. So, dopamine spike, dopamine spike, dopamine spike. Well, it's the same. You get the same dopamine spike from hitting the gym. But the thing is, since your dopamine receptors are just getting fucking hit in the face all the time, you no longer want to go to the gym. And it sounds like a weird correlation, and maybe it's not just with the gym, but it's with everything in life. Because when you're getting instant gratification, you are having a harder time waiting for delayed gratification. Right? Because the delayed gratification is sitting down for 18 hours on something you've never ever tried before, and then getting your first victory from it. Like whatever that, I don't know, sitting down, making sales calls, your first 18 hours, 20 hours of sales calls, you close one sale and you're like, oh shit, maybe I can do something. But your brain's not going to want to do those 20 hours of sales calls because it's hard, and it's easier to get dopamine from Instagram. So I learned the most optimal way to fucking quit scrolling on Instagram, and I'll actually talk about it. I'm like, it's officially done. Like I had some spurts here and there where I wouldn't look at it too much, or I'd only look at it on the weekends. It's officially over with. I don't look at Instagram anymore, ever. Like, I don't scroll short form. I don't even have the urge to scroll short form, and my life is significantly better. But everyone does that, right? Everyone scrolls short form content. But I'm the only person that can just sit there quietly while we're waiting somewhere to do something, and everyone else is on their fucking phones. Because I've learned that skill, right? When I stopped scrolling on Instagram, I was able to free up my mind and fix my mind to do more important tasks. So by not scrolling on Instagram, I found out how to improve my mind, which is one of the 5 buckets. And I did that, and now I have more freedom in my life for the things that are more important. That's what this is about. But the traditional route will tell you, oh, okay, yeah, just do what everyone else does. Just scroll on social media. That's how you mess up your mind. That's how you end up being the guy who has the traditional life, and then you're not satisfied and you wonder why. And then you go buy a fucking motorcycle at 48 years old, and you go out and say, I'm having a midlife crisis. That's one thing you have to do. You have to stop listening to the fucking media. You have to stop listening to other people's opinions. Right? You have to find your own path. You can't sit there and consistently listen to what other people are saying, because what everyone's saying is what everyone's doing. And what everyone's doing is not right. You have to find a way to be different. And that's why I say that traditional route is a bunch of bullshit. And you need to figure out why and what route works for you. Because if you want to build something great in your life, and you've been watching this video this long, you're different. And you want to build something with your life and be something great. So don't fucking settle for the traditional lifestyle because that's what everyone says. There are things about that life that sound great, but if you really look behind the lens, they are fucking wicked. They're terrible for your mental health. They're terrible for your body. They're terrible for your relationship with your wife. They're fucking terrible for your finances. They can get even worse for your finances. And it's terrible for your soul. So figure it out on your own. But I just laid the fucking groundwork down. Go find hard pills and swallow them.